Hi everyone, and welcome back to Sonyas Prep. In this week's video, I wanted to take you back to having those weekly meals that we used to do. You guys were a very big fan of them. So I'm gonna take you through the week and show you how I shop, what I prep for my baby, and how I get all these yummy dishes together for my family. So let's roll up our sleeves and let's get prepping. In this week's video, we're gonna start off with another Costco haul. Costco is really dangerous. I did not mean to buy all of these things, but I never do, and I end up spending an arm and a leg. But I think that's just how it always happens. You just see the things that you see and you're like, oh, I need that, and oh, I forgot about that, and you come out with all of this. So I'll go through each of the items that I bought for you and tell you how I'll be using them in this week's meal prep. So come along with me. I'm gonna start off with all the produce. If you hear any noise, it's because my baby is playing with his little toys in the background. Anyway, so I got these squashes. I wanna make a lasagna with a squash. It is absolutely delicious. I made it for the first time last year and we absolutely loved it. So I definitely recommend this. I also get their avocados, their little cherry tomatoes. My kids just snack on them all throughout the day. Bananas, baby Yehuda's already eating them. I just take a spoon and just give it to him with a spoon, or he just holds them. It's the cutest thing. I love all these transitions that babies have. It's the cutest thing. These are their delicious, yummy peaches. They just smell so fragrant, and I made peach galettes with this. If you haven't seen it, I have a short on this or a reel on Instagram. Absolutely delicious. So easy to make also. Follow the recipe if you'd like to enjoy them. Then I got these apples. I steamed these for Yehuda. My kids eat them, so we enjoy that as well. And I got potatoes. We go through a lot of potatoes in this family. Then I got some treats and snacks for my kids to take to camp. I have 5 little ones who go to school, so if each of them take even one bag every single day, like snacks just go really, really quickly in our house. I got the Skinny Pop. I found this for the first time in Costco. It looked really good. No high fructose corn syrup, plant-based, not free. Oatmeal crumble bars, so they look really good. I got that. I got the Milano double dark chocolate snacks for them also. They come 30 packs, which is great, and I actually like these as well, so I got this for myself also. Every time I go to their bakery, I just have to buy something. It's so bad. I really don't need this, but I got it anyways. It's their apple strudels, and they are kosher in my Costco. So I got it, and I am going to enjoy it, and I'm going to try not to feel guilty about it. I got these takeaway containers because my girls specifically, actually my boys also, they love to take salads for school lunches, and I only have glass containers in my house. I do send it with them, but I'm always nervous that they'll break. So I figured I'll buy these and I can load it up with salad and grilled chicken on top. They don't have to heat it up, so I'm okay with them using plastic. But when they're getting older, they want to have like adult type food, so I decided to get that. I don't have dish racks in my house. I just don't like the look of it. I like to wash my dishes, the ones that at least that I can't put into the dishwasher, and place them on these dish towels, and once they're dried, I put the dishes away. So I like to use these types of things. I got a few of them. I think this is a 3-pack. I didn't realize that. That's really nice. So I'm going to be replacing some of my really ugly ones that I have in the house, and I'm going to be replacing them with these. Kleenex was on sale, so I got a box of that. I've transitioned to using only sea salt in my house, just trying to make better decisions. Listen, I get these things too, but wherever I can, I try to, minimize bad things. So I'm using sea salt instead of regular table salt. I got their vanilla extract for all the baking that we do, extra virgin olive oil for my salads. I got a bunch of avocado oils also. I put some away already. I just use this to cook with. And I also got 3 gallons of milk, which are already in my fridge. And that is basically our Costco haul. Let me know in the comments below, what do you enjoy getting in Costco that is a must for you? I am so curious if I'm just missing out, because I love to see what other people get. gonna go for it. And I'm gonna enjoy it. Because you know what? I deserve it. Oh, they're so fresh and crispy and delicious. Hold on for 8 minutes. That's good. I don't have to eat the entire thing, but I can have a little bit. This is your reminder to go get a treat for yourself. Because why not? The very first thing that I do on Sundays to prep myself for the week is make a pot of soup for my baby. I have some lamb bones in here and all of the scum that came up. I'm going to just peel all of that off. I mean, skim all of that off, and it's gonna have a clear broth. Then I'll add in tons of vegetables for him. And now he's gonna have soup for the next like 4 to 5 days that he will be enjoying. So I have 2 carrots here, 1 Idaho potato, 1 onion, 1 zucchini, and 1 sweet potato. I'm gonna chop them up and put them into the soup. Everything is in. I see some bubbles coming around. I do season my baby soup with some sea salt, and I have some bay leaves here that I'm gonna add. So you could season this how you like. I don't add too much. And I do add a little bit of pepper because I find that my baby does not like regular bland food. I tried to like boil just regular like butternut squash, and he didn't really like it. He likes seasoning, which I'm not opposed to. And I'm gonna add in some garlic powder. And that is it. Give it a good mix and let that go for 45 minutes, and it should be fully cooked through. For our first meal, I wanted to make something that I saw on Instagram. It was this yummy grilled chicken salad. I'm gonna post the reel that I'm going to be following in the description box for you. Basically, it's just chicken breast or chicken thighs. You season it really well and grill it on a pan. And there's some corn in there, dill, greens, avocados, just this yummy summer salad, which I think is gonna be a big hit in my house. But to go with that, I wanna make some potatoes in the oven, so like potato wedges and maybe like lemony garlicky dressing over the top of it once it's cooked. It sounds really delicious, so let's get to it. First things first, I'm gonna place this corn to boil, and then I'm gonna start marinating my chicken. So let's put this on the stovetop. The chicken is marinated. I'm going to let it sit for about 10-15 minutes while I get started on my oven fries. I'm just gonna peel them, wash them, slice them up into wedges, and season them as well, and place them into the oven.
You're taller than me. Margie, who's taller?
Who's taller?
Your mom is doing it.
The chicken is done. The potatoes are all peeled and sliced into wedges. Now I'm just going to be seasoning this up. You can do this to taste. You could really add pretty much anything to it. I'm going to be adding in some salt, paprika, garlic powder, and some black pepper. And this does need some oil. I mean, you could do it without oil if you're watching what you're eating, but I enjoy it to get really nice and crispy. So I'm using some avocado oil, drizzling all of that on. And I'm going to do my best after I mix it to line them up in a single line file so that they can have the most optimal crisp to it. Now I'm just gonna place them into a 500-degree preheated oven. You could do it on convection roast if you have that feature, or just on bake, and flip them over halfway through. Now it's time to grill up the chickens. I got this grill pan about a year ago and I'm not so thrilled with it. It gets rusty. I just wiped it down with some wet paper towel. But I'm on the hunt for a different one, a better one that won't rust all the time. I mean, I know I'm supposed to season it with oil, but even with that, it's just not doing what it's supposed to be doing. So let's take these yummy, gorgeous looking chickens and start grilling them up. Now I'm soaking my greens. Even though these are pre-washed, I still soak them and I check them for bugs or anything like that. And then I use a salad spinner to get all of the wetness out. The original recipe, as if you see the reel, does not have any greens in it, but I'm choosing to incorporate a lot of greens in it because I just think it'll go much better with it. And I want to give my kids some more veggies in their diet, but you could definitely omit it. We're just keeping it in here. The chickens have all cooked, and I'm gonna lower the temperature over here, 400 degrees, place it into the oven for another 7 minutes to finish cooking. Looks great. Potatoes have gotten nice and crisp on the bottom over here. I'm just gonna flip them over so we can do the other side. placing them back in for another 5 to 7 minutes until they're ready. I'm gonna be making the dressing. So we have a 1/3 cup of olive oil over here. We need 3 tablespoons of lemon juice. The original recipe calls for champagne vinegar. I don't have that. I have red wine vinegar. I think it's gonna be just as good. So 3 tablespoons of the red wine vinegar. Then we need 1 tablespoon of mustard. Whoa. 1 tablespoon of that. And 1 tablespoon of honey.
Oh, wow.
That looks good, huh?
Yep.
And then, I think it's like whatever, 4 teaspoons of pepper and salt to taste. Give everything a good mix, and that is basically the dressing, which looks amazing. All I have left to do now is chop up the avocados and place the chicken over the top. So good. Now I'm going to make a little marinade for the fries that are gonna come out, and I think it's gonna be an amazing dinner, and I think everyone's gonna thoroughly enjoy it. Charlie, you agree? Michelle already sneaked in a piece of chicken and he really liked it. Let's just taste the dressing. That is good. That is good. Into the potato dressing, I have a little bit of extra virgin olive oil, a tablespoon of mustard, 4 cloves of crushed garlic, and I'm also going to chop up some dill, and that's what's gonna go on the potatoes. So I put a little bit of the dill into the potato sauce, and the rest is going to go into the salad right over here. I literally just made it up. I think it's gonna be a hit. Oh my, that looks so good. I want to grab a little piece so I can test it for you guys. Okay, here goes. Oh my god. Flavor galore. I like it a lot. You guys should make it. It's so good. It's a party in your mouth. It's so good. Now I'm just chopping up the avocados into large chunks and dumping them in. The chicken is cooked perfectly. I'm gonna cube them up. My kids are already drooling in the background. They can't wait for it to be ready. So mixing the dressing one more time and placing it over the salad. For today's dinner, we're gonna be making lasagna. I'm gonna make two different versions of it. One like low calorie with zucchini and one the regular way. I made this recipe last year, like I said in the intro, and it was amazing, delicious. You could do this with eggplant if you so choose. But the whole purpose, the whole reason why it's so good is the filling, in my opinion. So you could just use this filling and make it any which way you want. So what I'm gonna be doing is taking these zucchinis. I already washed it. I'm gonna be cutting the ends off from the tops, the tips of them, and slicing them thinly. You can also use a mandolin slicer for an easier time cutting them. So just like this. I actually prefer the mandolin slicer because they all come out really nice and uniform. Now that everything is sliced up, I am going to put some salt over it and let like the juices come out of it so they're not so soggy. And I'm gonna try to do my best because it's a little bit overflowing here on the cutting board. I could actually separate it by putting them on paper towel. So let's flip these guys over. The ones that I already salted on one side. And I'm gonna let these sit for about 5 to 10 minutes and then wash them and pat them dry. And then we're going to get started on the yummy filling. In the meantime, I'm getting ready to make my filling. I have 2 eggs here and some frozen spinach that I just really squeezed all the water out of. You could use fresh spinach, like chop it up really fine. You need about 1 cup of it, and you need 1 cup of ricotta cheese. So I'm going to be plopping that in here as well. Oops. Oh, молодец. Good job, Yehuda. We need a few tablespoons of Parmesan cheese. Maybe like, let's say 1/4 of a cup you need. I just love Parmesan cheese. I think the more the merrier. About 1/2 cup of shredded mozzarella cheese. Have you guys heard that the shredded cheese that we get in the supermarket is mixed with pulp, like wood pulp, to prevent them from sticking together? Which I didn't believe it when I first heard it. I thought the person told me it was crazy, but I looked it up and it's actually true. Ever since then, I just can't bring myself to buy the pre-shredded cheese. I always shred it myself. So I get this from Costco and I just shred it myself because that's gross. Salt and pepper goes in also. I don't know, why do they add all these weird things to our food? It's so upsetting. What else am I missing here? Let's see. And that's it. I'm just gonna mix everything thoroughly and our filling is basically done. I've rinsed these and patted them dry, and now I'm going to be placing them on a baking sheet. And it's gonna go into the oven after we spray it with a little bit of oil. It's gonna cook for about 10 minutes just to soften them a little further. And it's just gonna give them more depth of flavor. Okay, into the oven they go. While the eggplants are getting cooked, I'm going to get started on what my kids are actually going to enjoy. It's going to be the lasagna noodles. So onto the baking pan. This is an 8x8 pan. You can definitely make this into a larger version. I'm just going to be mixing it up. I'm placing in a little bit of sauce on the bottom. And these are the oven ready noodles. So I'm not pre-cooking them. I am just putting them down, adding in about a tablespoon or so of the filling down onto the lasagna noodles. Like that. Adding a little bit more cheese to the top. Some more sauce goes in, and noodles again. And I'm gonna repeat that step until it's all done. So real life, I'm gonna be honest, I just realized that I have really not enough filling for both of these things. So to improvise, to stretch the filling, I took out some farmer's cheese, and it looks pretty much the same in consistency, and it's not really adding any weird texture to the filling. So I added in another cup of that. I'm gonna add in another 1/4 cup of the shredded mozzarella cheese, another 1/4 cup of the Parmesan, some more salt and pepper, and hopefully we'll have enough for something. It should be fine. I'm gonna also add in 2 more eggs. I did 4 layers of these lasagnas, and they're about to go into the oven. Because these are oven ready and I didn't pre-cook them, I am going to be adding in about 1/2 cup to a cup of water. I did 3/4 of a cup over here. I'm gonna cover that up with some foil and place it into the oven at 400 degrees until it's cooked through, maybe about 20 minutes. While the lasagna is getting cooked, I'm going to get started on the zucchini lasagna. So again, we're using the same method. We're putting some tomato sauce on the bottom of the pan, and I'm using about a teaspoon or so of the filling and spreading it all throughout the zucchini and rolling it up like this. We have it all here, it's all done. This will be perfect for just the 2 of us. And I'm also making a side salad, like a feta cheese sized salad. To top all of this off, I'm adding in some more tomato sauce and of course some more cheese. And I'm gonna be popping this into the oven uncovered this time, because the zucchini is going to give off way too much water if I cover it, in my opinion. And that is it. Let's put this into the oven. Okay, it's salad time. I'm using the same salad mix that I used yesterday. I already washed it, cleaned it. I'm just spinning it to get any of the excess water out of it. Placing that onto my large plate. Adding in any vegetables that I have on hand. Today I'm using some cherry tomatoes, a cucumber from my garden. My garden is finally producing and I am so excited. Yeah, it's from our garden. And a red pepper. I'm going to chop all of that up and add in some feta cheese. Feta cheese that I usually get when I go to Costco. It comes in a 2-pack and we like it. Yeah. And it's resealable, which I really like as well. Taller. Yeah. I think you're taller.
No, I think he's taller. He's sitting on the chair. Watch this cake in my hair.
And I'm just gonna crumble that into the salad.
How you're pulling my hair? What?
Oh my God. gosh, Yehuda, don't pull her hair. Is he slobbering you?
He slobbered me all over my mouth.
Oh my gosh.
So good.
He loves you so much.
I think he doesn't like me. This doesn't remember me.
He loves you. Of course he loves you. The dressing is very simple. I just added in some olive oil, a squeeze of lemon juice, salt, black pepper, and crushed garlic. And that is it. You could add a little bit of honey if you would like, or use some prepared dressing. And dinner is done. This is the zucchini lasagna. This is the regular lasagna. It looks amazing. If my kids had patience, I would let this actually get a little crusty, but they're all starving, so I'm just gonna let them eat it as is. Everyone is eating their dinner, or whoever's here for now. And now I do have a little bit of the filling left over. And what I'm going to be doing with it is just making some parekas with it. So I have these puff pastry squares. I'm going to be filling them with this and baking that in the oven. And cooking for another dinner. Today's actually a little different. My sister-in-law had a baby, so I wanted to gift her a meal for today. So we're gonna make a sourdough for her, a salad, and a stew. So come along with me today. I'm not done. While the bread is finishing getting cooked, I'm going to get started on the actual stew. All it is 3 ingredients really. It's onions, potatoes, meat, and I'm going to be adding in some tomato sauce, which I guess is another ingredient, and some seasoning. And that is basically it. I'm gonna chop this onion up, get it going on the skillet, and then I'm gonna get started on the meat. Dropping in the onions into the skillet now. I'm gonna saute until they're brown. And I'm gonna start chopping up the meat now. I have beef over here today. I guess you can do this with any cut of meat that you like to your preference. And I'm going to be cutting them into this kind of size. Like stew meat, basically. So as you just saw, I placed the onions, the meat into the pan. I seasoned it with some salt, black pepper, cumin, coriander, paprika. I got it all sauteed really, really well. And now I added in also some tomato sauce and some water with some bay leaves. I'm gonna let that cook for about 2 hours or so until the meat is just really, really soft and tender. And then I'm gonna add in a bunch of potatoes chopped up into large chunks. And the food is basically going to be all done. I'm going to package that up, and the sourdough is almost ready. It's going to be in about 4 minutes. We're going to take that out. I'm going to then get started on the salad I'll be bringing her. Look how gorgeous, stunning, and huge these came out. I guess it's like the summer because they normally don't come out this crazy. Also, I started to change up how I allow my starter to really proof. And I've been letting it really proof for a good amount of time, not only like 3-4 hours like I used to. They go for about 6 hours, they proof, and just look gorgeous, stunning. This would have had an ear, I feel like, if I would have put it into a larger pot than this. It was kind of small, so it didn't really have room to expand. Loving it, gorgeous. I just finished up chopping the salad. Unfortunately, I didn't have any cherry tomatoes, so I had to use real ones. So I have lettuce, cucumbers, peppers, and tomatoes here. I'm gonna make a dressing to go along with it right now. Who's in the kitchen with mommy? Hi. Maybe like a cup of mayo is in here now. And I'm gonna grate in 1 garlic clove. Let's get this out of the way. The garlic in. I'm going to squeeze half of a lemon. Some black pepper. Oh, you okay? And some salt, a little bit of dill, just a little bit, and I'm gonna mix all of that up. Oh gosh, are you okay, mister? I'm gonna thin it out with some water. That is it. Dressing is done. I'm just gonna try it. That's perfect. So good. Dressing done. Hey. Hi. The meat's been cooking for over an hour now. It's getting soft. So now is the time for me to chop up the potatoes. I just peeled a bunch of them, and it really varies how much you're gonna make on how many people you're feeding. So I have 2, 4, 6, 7 over here. And I think that should be fine for them and their family. The meat looks great, but for me, it still needs another hour or so of cooking time. So this is where I'm going to drop the potatoes inside. turn up the fire so it can start boiling, because I just added the potatoes in, so I'll change the temperature. And there we go. I'm gonna lower it just a bit and cover it for another hour. Okay, the stew is fully cooked through. Looks amazing and yummy. The meat is also very, very tender. As you can see, it's just falling and breaking very, very easily. To top this off, I'm going to add in some greens. This is definitely optional. You do not have to do this. I just like it to look a little pretty. So I'm gonna let it cool, and then I'll transfer it over to a foil pan so I can easily bring it to her house. I'll place the stew here. I labeled a foil sheet. Just wrote exactly what to do. Stew, reheat at 350 for 25 minutes. So we're all done. I'm about to package everything up. This is pretty nice and cool now. The salad is here, salad dressing. The sourdough bread is here also. I got these bags off of Amazon. They're just really cute to, I guess, carry your bread whenever you're going to someone's house. It's a cute way of presenting it. And it comes with this little sticker to hold everything in place. I'm gonna not put the sticker in just because I want this bread to remain nice and crispy like it is right now on the bottom. Otherwise, I feel like it's gonna get a little bit mushy. But whenever she's ready to put it away for the night, she can use this sticker to close it up. And that is it. I'm gonna place everything into this bag and we're gonna head out. We're back in the kitchen and cooking up another dinner. I almost forgot to record. So in the pot here, I have 1 package of mushrooms that I've sliced up. I have a tablespoon of butter and about 3 tablespoons of avocado oil. I'm gonna let that saute with some salt and pepper, and I'll get back to the recipe. One of you guys sent me this, hold on. One of you guys sent me this apron in my P.O. box. Thank you very much. I'm thoroughly enjoying wearing it. It's so super comfortable. I added in about 6 cloves of garlic into here. See how the mushrooms already reduced so nicely. I'm gonna let that go for another minute, and then I'm gonna add in heavy cream. Over here on the side, I have a pot of water that I placed to boil, and I'm gonna drop in some penne pasta. Just dropped in the pasta, giving it a good mix so nothing sticks together. And this will be ready in about 7 to 9 minutes. Dropping in the heavy cream. It already is smelling so incredibly good in here. I have another heavy cream that I just bought. I have to open this up and drop it in also. Okay, and this is obviously going to depend on how much you're making. So I would say I'm using almost an entire quart over here. And you could always thin it out with milk, or you could always add in some more if you find that you need some more Alfredo sauce. Once this starts to boil now, let's turn up the fire. I'm going to be adding in some Parmesan cheese. The more the better. I'm going to be adding in half of a container. This is about, how many ounces is this thing? I don't know why. Oh, 5 ounces it says. So I would guess 2.5 ounces of this. So it's starting to boil. I'm dropping in the Parmesan cheese. And mixing all of that. Yeah, babe. This is what the fettuccine sauce looks like after it's like nice and thick and bubbly. Now the pasta is also ready over here. I'm going to drain that and add it to the Alfredo sauce. The pasta's been added. I'm going to give everything a mix and serve it up with the salad.